Hey there, gents. It's Johnny Reb here, and I learned a few days ago that in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, an old monument down there that was erected in 1913, but the locals refer to as Silent Sam, was torn down in the middle of the night by these radicals. Uh, And the thing about it is, these folks are not just any old run-of-the-mill protesters. They have an agenda, a real direction, a real way of doing things, unlike most groups. These folks tore down this monument in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Silent Sam, in the middle of the night. Some would say, "Oh well, that's cowardly. They're cowards for doing that, especially in the middle of the night." Well, these people are not cowards. You must never underestimate your enemy. Believe me. Uh, these people are the same people that tore down the monument in Durham, North Carolina, last year. They did that in broad daylight. The 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 thing these incidents have in common, these two separate incidents, is that the police were present at both instances, at both these riots. Essentially, that's what it is. They're riots. They tore down these monuments, one in broad daylight, one at night. They both had cops there, and in both scenarios, the police did absolutely nothing to stop the destruction of public property. Same thing happened down in Georgia, but this was not this was not televised. There was none of that sort of thing. This happened in the middle of the night in a cemetery, and this monument was torn down in a cemetery in Georgia, where several Confederate veterans are buried at. I'll leave a link to the article discussing that down below in the description. Uh, these people are not the kind of people that you can reason with. You can't discuss anything. You can't show them, hey, what you're doing is wrong. You can't do any of that. These people have one thing in mind, and that is the destruction of Southern history, Southern heritage. And then there's this question that I always have to ask. Where does it end? Where does it end? And my answer for that, ladies and gentlemen, is that it will not end. It will not end until every facet of American history is either altered or destroyed. We live in an age where If we say the wrong thing to the wrong person, or do the wrong thing around the wrong person, it will greatly offend them. And good people are getting labeled as bigots and racists for simply expressing an opinion. People say, oh, well, these monuments were built during Jim Crow. They need to be removed. I can say that just about virtually every monument built from 1880 until 1969. Every monument from there to now would have to be removed if you follow that same principle, that same line of thought. Mount Rushmore would have to be demolished. The Lincoln Memorial would have to be dismantled, as well as any other monument built during that time, regardless of who put it up and why. And these people don't care about reason. They don't care about why things were done a certain way back in the day. They don't care. It doesn't interest them. They have an agenda, and this agenda they will follow until they get what they want. And as long as they see that people are letting them have what they want, they will keep doing it over and over again until we draw a line in the sand and say, don't cross this line or there will be consequences. When these people tear down a monument and the police don't respond and people are not arrested or they get let go within less than a week, for example, they'll keep trying more and more until they get what they want. They're like little kids, basically. Mommy, can I have that? Daddy, can I have that? If you keep saying yes and giving them what they want, they'll keep asking for more shit. Because they see that you'll bend over and do whatever the hell they want to do for them. These folks are not nice people. They're very violent. They would rather destroy and vandalize and terrorize people to get what they want. I saw a video on Facebook just yesterday, as a matter of fact, about a demonstration that happened at the North Carolina State University, same university where the Silent Sam was torn down at. Before I go any further, Silent Sam was erected in the memory of the students and faculty that left the college to go fight during the war. People that never came back because they were killed in action or wounded or they died in some Yankee prison camp somewhere or fell out and died in the bushes somewhere and never came back home. So The campus police, along with local and state police, were there at this demonstration, and they were starting to crack down a little on the people there that are protesting, destroying things, vandalizing things, terrorizing people, but too little, too late. Uh, Cops formed a line, and they pushed them across a little field to the road, to the to a wall, and there was like a sidewalk on the other side. They pushed them over the wall. As the cops are doing this, some of these people were chanting, "Cops and Klan go hand in hand." I find that highly ironic because a few of the police officers there were black. It just goes to show you that these people are not too bright, but they do have vision. They know what they want. And it's starting to get to the point where the battle lines are being drawn and sides are being taken. Some folks there at the university put up a sign around the base of Silent Sam before they tore it down, and this sign asks the question, which side are you on? That's the point it's getting to. It's getting to the point where there won't be a middle ground. You're either for or against. It's going to get to that point. I believe it's already starting to get to that point. When we allow memorials to be torn down in the middle of the night, or sometimes even in broad daylight, and show the people that do it that there won't be any consequences, they'll do it again and again and again until we have no more history. It's having a monument in place is not just so you walk past it and go, oh, look at the wonderful statue they put up back in the day to decorate our town square with. No, that's not why they're there. Monuments are erected so we can memorialize the dead or commemorate an event. They're not erected to celebrate. They're put there so future generations can look at it and say, this is where we've come from. This monument is part of who we are as a people. This monument shows us who we can be. That's why monuments exist. A monument is something erected to stay there until the end of time. It's not something to be there for 100 years and then we don't like it anymore, so we're gonna knock it over and break it up in little pieces. Again, they're there as memorials. These monuments, like I've said in another video, are memorials. They're not just monuments, they're memorials. They're basically gravestones. And when you tear down these Confederate monuments, you're tearing down somebody's headstone. Because a great many young boy died far from home in the bushes somewhere and was never found. And his family never found out what the hell happened to him. All they know is he just didn't come home. Or in some cases, if the family's lucky, they'll find out 150 years later that cousin James was killed in Petersburg. He's buried in a mass grave. Most people don't know. Most people don't know what happened to their ancestors. They just know, oh, they didn't come home. Oh, they probably either died on the field of battle somewhere, or they got sick, fell out and died in a ditch somewhere, or hell, maybe they just got tired of being a soldier and went out west, or other places abroad, or hell, maybe they just got tired of everybody knowing that they existed, and they just went, oh, well, I'm going to disappear and create a new life for myself. Some folks did that. That's why these monuments are there. They're there because sometimes, and especially in war, there will be casualties, and people will not come home again. Sometimes they never do. Sometimes they're not even buried in their native soil. Sometimes they're not even buried at all. And that's why these monuments exist. Tearing down monuments, destroying any kind of public property is nothing more than just vandalism. Tearing down a monument to dead soldiers is basically tearing down somebody's headstone. And that is wrong. And that should not happen. Ever. Countries should get together with their people and say, look, we just fought this long, nasty, brutal war. And we just lost a couple million of our people. And we need to honor them for their sacrifice. So we're going to put up this monument here, and nobody's going to fuck with it, ever. You know, if I had any say-so, every monument existing within the borders of the United States of America would be protected by federal law. And if you vandalize a monument, say you spray paint it, or you throw paint on it, or you tear it down, that should be an automatic Class A felony. You destroyed part of our country's history, so you're going to pay for it. The people that tore down that monument in Durham, North Carolina, the police should have started arresting them right then and there. And if they got too violent, bring in SWAT. And if the SWAT can't handle them, call in the National Guard and have them handle them. We need to draw a line in the sand and say, no more. You're not going to do this no more. We're not letting you. We're not going to sit idly by like some of these so-called police officers do. The motto of a policeman is supposed to be to serve and to protect. And if they're not going to do their job, then who's going to do it? Sure as hell ain't going to be those people tearing down monuments and spray painting things and tearing shit up. Sure as hell ain't going to be them. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing these monuments being torn down in the middle of the night, cops being present, and nothing is being done about it. I would be just as angry, and I would be just as upset if it was Yankee monuments being torn down. You shouldn't do that to any kind of memorial. If it's a monument erected to honor the dead, you shouldn't mess with it. It's basically a headstone. Don't do it. It's wrong. These people are the same kind of people that will suggest that we dig up these Confederate soldiers, put them someplace else, and put something else in their place. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of sitting here and watching this crap happen. I've drawn the line in the sand and said no more. Cross this line and you're going to face consequences, is what I would say. Everybody needs to stand together and say, look, this shit needs to stop. And if nobody does that, then nobody will. All these different Southern Heritage organizations need to band together and fight against these people. I'm talking good old-fashioned activism. Flyers, posters, handouts, rallies, flags, a whole 9 yards. After, do y'all remember how things were after the flag was taken down in South Carolina? There were rallies everywhere. Little ones, big ones, huge ones. And then all of a sudden that shit just kind of stopped. I ain't heard very much about large rallies or anything happening anymore. What will it take for y'all to stand up and do something about it? I've been doing something about it. I've been on the street corner with my flag, passing out flyers, educating people, doing all that I can to undo some of the crap that these people have done to destroy part of our heritage. But I ain't seen a lot of action. I've seen a lot of talk, but no action. Let me tell you something, and I mean this. When this is gone, this will be next. That's why the line in the sand has to be drawn. After Southern history and Southern heritage is gone, then it's American history and American heritage gone. There'll be a day when we'll wake up in the morning, look ourselves in the mirror, and just say, why did I let this shit happen? What could I have done to do something different to make sure that this wouldn't happen? When that day comes, and I hope that it doesn't, but when that day comes, I won't be the one feeling sorry. I'll be proud of myself and the fight that I fought tooth and nail to save our history. I'll be proud of myself. I won't be ashamed. I won't be sitting there regretting, wow, I should have did this. Wow, I should have made this group. Wow, I should have passed out more flyers or done something differently. I won't be doing that. I'll be proud of myself. Without the long path that our country has had to walk down, we would not be who we are today. Without without this, who would we be? We'd be nothing more than than British subjects still. If we didn't try to decide our own destiny. The same spirit that founded this country founded the Confederate States of America. That war was fought and lost by the Confederacy. They have ceased to exist. But we're still Americans at the end of the day. Americans. And I gladly fly both flags. So, the question I have for y'all is, what have you done to defend our history? What have you done? What groups have you joined? What groups have you created? What flyers have you printed out and handed out? What have you done? Answer that question to yourself. And if you can't answer that question, you need to do something so you can answer that question. But remember that at the end of the day, we're not just Southerners. We're Americans too. And this is just as American as this is. Which is why we need to defend it to the last. A lot of good men died underneath this flag. A lot of good men have died underneath the Stars and Stripes as well. And that spirit of determination, of sacrifice, of honor, of virtue, and pride is what makes us American. And if we allow these people that hate this flag, that hate our monuments and our history, to get what they want, they will do everything in their power to destroy America. The, the folks that were there at Durham that tore down that monument, one of the things that they chanted was no Trump, no wall, no USA at all. Oh wait, no, sorry. No fascist USA at all. I'm just gonna let those roll. I can't speak. I just sat here for a moment to let y'all think about those words. These people are members of organizations like the World Workers Party and they chant things like workers of the world unite. And essentially these people are straight up communists. And we should not allow people that hate America to destroy America from the inside. So we should fight tooth and nail against these people to destroy them before they destroy us. So y'all get out there, you do your research, you read everything on that war and on American history as you possibly can. Anything and everything. Doesn't matter if it's total BS. Doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. If it's in a book and it's on the war, pick that up and read it. Then get some like-minded individuals together, start a group, work with other groups, fight tooth and nail for this. And I'm not talking physical, hands being thrown or anything like that. I'm talking flyers, education, street corner rallies, posters, signs, things like that. Do that. If everybody did that, within less than a week, we would have won. People would start to look at things differently and then say, well, maybe I was wrong about the flag and those monuments. A lot of good things can happen. I've seen good things happen. History is important, and in order to understand ourselves, we need to understand history. And that is the only way we'll be able to win this. Activism. Flags flying, signs held up, posters, flyers handed out, rallies, that sort of thing will help us. And we need to not let these people win. Because, again, I've said it multiple times already. I know I have. If we let them win, the Stars and Stripes will be next. Well, I think I've done talked all I can. I bet I've done talked some of y'all's ears clean off your heads and everything. But in closing, I want to say, hey, uh, y'all get ready for that hurricane that's coming, and be safe. And take care of yourselves and everything. This has been Johnny Reb, and thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and show this to everybody else. Anybody that you know really doesn't really matter, but whatever. Y'all have a nice day, night, evening, morning, afternoon, or whatever time of day it just happens to be when you watch this. Peace.